Last year in one of my very early on videos, I did a review on the ASRock Beebox, and much to my delight, it was in bling bling gold. It advertised support for 4K playback, but I found this was really only under very specific conditions, so it was a little bit of a letdown, though it was a very affordable unit, so I couldn't complain too much. Well, now the Beebox and the little bee that was declaring to the world that it's a PC are back, and like Alf, better than ever. The new model is called the Beebox S, and unlike my brand new Porsche that I don't have, the S actually stands for Skylake, and my unit is indeed a much more appealing black colourway this time, but for those that were loving the pimp version, you can still get it in gold, silver or white. The Beebox S is available in two configurations, one featuring a Core i3, and then the one I've got here featuring the dual-core Core i5-6200U, which I'm expecting to do plenty in this cool little device. There's been other notable improvements over the previous Beebox N3000 too. It now supports DDR4 memory, USB 3.1, HDMI 2.0, DisplayPort 1.4, and there's even a PCIe 3.0 x 4 M2 slot. Both configurations come as barebone units, and aside from the built-in CPU, you'll be required to find your own supporting hardware, including memory, storage, and of course any accompanying software. Aside from the unit itself, in the package you get a remote control, the power adapter, a VESA bracket, and of course the standard manuals and warranty documents. Let's have a quick look around the device now. The enclosure is a glossy black with rounded edges, and at the front we find an audio jack, USB 3.0 port, and a USB Type-C port, which I'm very happy to see. Lastly, we have the infrared receiver that pairs the included little black remote control. Moving up to the top of the unit, we find some round-ended lines that break an otherwise plain design, along with a subtle power button in the front left corner that's illuminated by a blue LED. At the back of the Beebox S, we of course find the main I/O panel, and here there's a DC input, not one but two HDMI ports, a DisplayPort output, two USB 3 ports, a gigabit LAN port, and a Kensington lock. There's a little ventilation here too, as well as underneath the unit, where you'll also find some rubber feet and the screws that need to be removed to access the interior, which you'll need to do to install your selected components. The included Core i5-6200U processor is a dual-core as mentioned, running at 2.3 GHz with a turbo boost frequency of 2.8 GHz and a 3MB L3 cache. Yes, cache, Americans, sue me. You'll also be getting the relatively unimpressive Intel HD Graphics 520, so Minesweeper at least will run flawlessly at 60 FPS. Impressively though, the processor is just a 15-watt part, so you can expect the total system draw of the Beebox S to be very low. As mentioned, DDR4 memory is now supported, and with the two SO DIMM slots, you can cram in up to 32 GB if you want to, though 8 or 16 is probably going to be the typical config for Beebox users. In terms of storage, any 2.5-inch drive can be installed, and then users also have the option for connecting an NVMe M2 SSD with the full 32 GB per second bandwidth available. Lastly, there's an additional M2 slot, though this one features a pre-installed Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.0 module that supports wireless AC. The Beebox S scored 2,884 points in the PCMark 8 home test, which is very respectable for a mini PC of this caliber. In comparison, AMD's desktop A10-7800 APU was only slightly faster with 2,933 points. Moving to the creative test, we see that the Beebox S pulls further ahead of the original Beebox and ECS Liver X. When compared to the APU, the Beebox S was again slightly behind. Next up, we tested the Microsoft Office performance using PCMark 8, and for this kind of productivity work, the Beebox S is more than twice as quick as the original Beebox, while it isn't a great deal slower than a fully fledged AMD quad-core APU. The Beebox S and its embedded Core i5-6200U processor managed to outscore the AMD A10-7800 in the Cinebench R15 multi-threaded test. This is surprising given the APU is a quad-core and the 6200U is a dual-core with hyperthreading. As you can see, the 6200U also delivered considerably stronger single-thread performance. Finally, the Beebox S crushed the original Beebox along with the ECS Liver X. 7-zip includes a built-in benchmark that measures compressing and decompressing performance in MIPS, short for million instructions per second. The dual-core processor of the Beebox S isn't quite able to keep up with the A10-7800 APU, but it does crush what was previously seen in the original Beebox and Liver X. The Beebox S and AMD APU trade blows in the X264HD benchmark. The little ASRock mini PC is particularly impressive here, and we see a massive step forward from the original Beebox. Although not designed for gaming, I know most of you will want to see some gaming performance regardless. So here we have some League of Legends, a game that wouldn't even load on the original Beebox or Lever X. Shockingly, the Beebox S was quite a bit faster than the A10-7800 in this game, something I wasn't expecting to find. Not just that, but an average of 67 FPS for the Beebox S is particularly impressive given we're playing at 1080p using the very high quality settings. Those wanting to play CSGO in their living room can do so on the Beebox S, though if you're playing the game at 1080p, be prepared to lower the quality settings. We received a 60 FPS average using the medium quality settings, so that was very playable. It would have been amazing if the hugely popular Overwatch played well on the Beebox S, but sadly it wasn't the case. Yes, an average of 49 FPS can be seen here, which casual gamers should find acceptable. However, the issue being that we had to reduce the quality settings to the lowest possible value and then lower the render scale to 50% at 1080p. The game looked pretty horrible, but I guess it was playable. Given the performance just seen, the idle consumption of just 9 watts is extremely impressive. In comparison, the AMD A10-7800 system consumed 28 watts, so that was 3 times more. Compared to the original Beebox, we're seeing a little over twice the power consumption when stressing just the CPU at 22 watts for the Beebox S. Still, that's roughly 4.5 times less than the A10-7800. With the GPU and CPU under full load, the Beebox S consumed just 39 watts, a very impressive result given the performance. The Beebox S seems like a solid step forward and makes many improvements over the original Beebox before it. The move to implement a low voltage Skylake processor has proven to be a significant upgrade in terms of performance, and where the Celeron N3000 lacks punch, the i5-6200U brings some serious performance to this tiny unit. Another benefit of this processor is that it provides truly capable 4K playback. We had no problems playing back all types of 4K content, and this was really a requirement for this compact computer that many will be wanting to use as the home theater PC. Making it even more suited to this use was not just the inclusion of HDMI 1.4, but also HDMI 2.0 and DisplayPort, enabling 4K 60Hz playback, as well as support for dual monitors. USB 3.1 is another awesome inclusion. There were only a couple of small issues I found with the device. It is a little tricky to get your SATA cables to fit properly when you have a 2.5-inch drive installed, and there's some definite cramming required. Some users will also find the glossy surface to be a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but if that kind of thing doesn't bother you, then there's no issue. For potential buyers, the real selling point of the Beebox S is the price. You might expect a Skylake U enabled Core i5 mini PC to cost a pretty penny, especially one of this caliber. I know I did, which is why the current $320 asking price over at Newegg really shocked me. The 6100U model is also selling for just $264, another amazing bargain right there. Unfortunately for now, the Beebox S is yet to go on sale down under, so I can't quote Aussie pricing. Still, given what we've seen stateside, there's a good chance it will be competitively priced in Ausland as well. So in the end, this is a really cool and really small mini PC that would be perfect as a portable if you need it to be a home theater PC for casual gaming and 4K playback. What do you guys think of the ASRock Beebox S? Let me know in the comments. I'm your host Matt as always, and I'll see you guys next time. YouTubers like me depend on your support to continue improving the quality and content of our videos. To support the channel directly, consider becoming a patron to also get access to a heap of cool rewards and exclusive giveaways. Also, don't forget you can check prices and buy the products I looked at in this video through the Amazon links in the video description below. Thank you kindly for supporting me and the Hardware Unboxed channel. It means a lot to me and I really do appreciate it, and in return I'll continue to work as hard as I can to keep producing the content you enjoy.